insight into the minds of our athletes. It's always really fascinating, isn't it, when we get these opportunities, Inca, to, delve deep and just find out how they started and where the inspiration came from.
For sure.
What about you, Inca? What was your development into the tunnel?
I actually started skydiving first.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
And I have a dancing background, so freestyle kind of came naturally.
We'll get a bit more information about that shortly. I'll be asking you.
We're ready to go for the freestyle open compulsories.
We are.
Tom's Evans, after great 2 rounds yesterday, is leading the competition at the moment. He's there getting ready with the signature big smile on the face. And he is going to, he's going to start this round, which is again like the same compulsories as the juniors flew, low speed, barrel stall, head up breaker, and Thomas flare. They can perform these moves in the order that they choose, but they have to submit the order to the judges before the round.
Great cheer from the audience. He's in.
He is in. Great head-up breaker. However, from this perspective, looks like it was actually quite of a head-down breaker with the legs being a lot higher. So we'll see. That was a beautiful barrel stall. He flies very strong and controlled always. And the Thomas flare. Very, very nice compulsories. And out. He's just always happy to fly, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
That was a nice compulsory round. Like I said about this head-up breaker move, sometimes performers are flying it with very, very straight legs, and because of how that is shifting our body weight, it tends to dip the head actually below the feet.
Right.
And when the move is called head-up breaker, that means that your head should be higher than the rest of your body.
Yes.
So it's interesting to see how the judges are looking at these situations where they're actually dipping their head lower than the rest of the body.
Very good morning to everybody who's joined us on the live feed. Give us a shout out. Good to hear from you. Here we go.
Hercules is going to be flying next. He's currently on place 8. Head up breaker straight into it. Flying in a very low wind speed. And here comes the Thomas flare. It was nice, center controlled. I am not sure if the legs were quite 90 degrees apart for the whole time.
Right.
The knees also need to be straight and the toes pointed, so there's some demands for the body position. There's a bit of a wonky barrel stall. And out.
Hercules out the door, high five.
You can see how like the barrel stall, it's performed always very close to the door.
Yes.
And that's the line that you have to fly at. And close to the door in the tunnel, we usually have quite a burble. The air might be a little bit different. There might be some dead air there. So flying too close to the door can cost you a lot because, it's distorting a little bit how the wind hits your body.
Well, that's an interesting bit of tidbit gossip. That's good to know. That's good to hear. Elena Dorofeva. Last night we saw her free round of course for the first time.
Yes, she's currently in the 6th place.
6th place, yes. What's the split between 1 and 2 at the moment at the top?
1 and 2.
Is much in it?
Yeah, there's around 10 points now between and Alina's in. Quite a bit of a sideways drift in that barrel stall.
Yeah.
Head-up breaker. Starting the breaker a little bit early, so she ended up rotating a touch too early. Not too bad, but definitely not quite on the center line. In the head-up breaker, basically the 360 rotation needs to be evenly divided between the whole tunnel.
Right.
So ideally, if you would take a picture from the center line, they would
Yeah.
be like halfway through that barrel on their backs, exactly perfectly lined with the center line.
Right at the
That's
bottom of
when
the
you
curve.
know that it's evenly
Yeah.
divided.
Interesting. Let's look out for that on our next flight. See if we can spot that there from Leonid.
Leonid is currently in the third place. He flew strong rounds yesterday. He had very, very good compulsories yesterday, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's doing now. Definitely a bit of a closing in the legs in the middle. There's that moment in the Thomas flare where naturally everyone tends to put the legs a little bit closer than 90 degrees. Nice barrel stall with a very different technique that we've seen most people use. And here we're going for the head-up breaker. That was a beautiful head-up breaker. Very controlled, very centered.
Yeah, you can see exactly what you meant.
Yes,
The middle.
exactly.
Yeah.
Nice, strong routine. He's a strong flyer. You can see that he has, I think he wrestles or something
he?
like this. Yes, exactly. You can definitely see that.
Better not upset him then.
He's a strong guy.
I'll say nice things.
Strong and bendy, yeah. don't upset him.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
Thomas flare, the moment when you basically finish your, like you start from the belly and then you finish your first flare, and when people are coming back on the belly, this is a moment when majority of people tend to close their legs
Right.
again. And that's where I feel like when I've been judging, that's where people get most of their deductions from the body position.
Let's look out for that with Danny Gallego. About to enter the tunnel. He was here till late last night, of course.
Yes, he's been competing in so many disciplines. He had a good day yesterday, but he ended up having a very short free routine, so he got a lot of deductions from that. And now going for the compulsory. He's very nice centered, sinking a little bit during the roll though. Nice head-up breaker. And now the Thomas flare.
What about those legs?
Yeah, it's looking good. It's going to be interesting to see the judges scoring is how they're looking at the levels.
Right.
A lot of people are picking up a lot of lift as they're going for their head down.
Yeah.
At the end of it, and yeah, the move like the 1.5 layers should be performed on level. But Danny definitely had a good round, and I love his use of space. Like I said yesterday, you can see the difference, like the contrast between him and Leonid.
Yes.
Leonid performing before, using more variety of body positions, but everything flown very much in the middle and in the lower part of the tunnel, versus Danny, even on low speed, using a lot of the space. Different styles. And next up we have Malachi Chewy. He is in the second place after yesterday. And yesterday's compulsory round, I was mentioning, he ended up having the wrong speed for his compulsory routine,
Yes.
and he still scored a very good score. So hopefully now the speed is correct, and we're going to see an even better compulsory round.
Chewy's parents watching as he enters. Here we go.
Yes, with the matching flame shoes with Chewy. Going for the head-up breaker. Nice head-up breaker. Lots of his signature side flying stuff. He definitely likes that style of flying. And I think this is going to be the barrel style. Beautiful.
Nice.
Very nice, no?
Yeah.
And at Thomas Flare, he ended up a little bit off the center at the end of it, but apart from that, good opening of the legs. Again, something that some of these flyers really need to work for, like knowing Chewy as a flyer. Like, yeah, it might take some stretching.
Yeah. What's the gap between second and third, Inca? How's that looking right now?
Second and third. So Chewy's currently having 268.4 points, and Leonid is behind him with 266. So that's a lot closer gap. That's actually like the tightest battle on the top now. And then James Rogers is on fourth place with 260.8 points.
Still all to play for early on.
Yeah, anything can still happen during today on the top battles. So, and now Axel from Hungary is going to jump in. He's currently in the last place after yesterday, but he was definitely loving his airtime on both of the rounds yesterday, and this is going to be the head-up breaker. Here we definitely see him going head down doing the head-up breaker, not quite finishing the whole rotation. Thomas Flare, better than the head-up breaker, a little bit bend on the knees, which is definitely going to be deductions. And I think this is going to be the barrel stall. There was quite a big rotation, starting a little bit like off the center and finishing to the other side. So that's again going to be deductions. So you can see these compulsory rounds, usually the people who end up scoring the good scores are actually moving very slowly during their three compulsory moves. And the people who tend to rush make more mistakes. So this is where you definitely want to slow your mind down and really focus on the details of each of the compulsories, because they weigh a lot in the final score of this round.
Two more flyers to come here in this open section of the compulsory second round with Ikatito.
Yes, next up is James Rogers. He always seems very calm before the rounds. There's like very few facial expressions. But that's how he flies as well. You can see the personality of each flyer always in their flying style. Head up break. Ooh, finishing the rotation a little bit early. That's definitely not quite in the center. Not too much off, but probably not what he would wish for. Nice back twist move. Again in the Thomas flare, it's a good Thomas flare, but it's the same moment there on the belly where the legs are closing a little bit. So those deductions I'm expecting to see in the scores with a lot of these flyers. And that barrel stall was a little off the center. James is a very strong flyer. I don't think this is necessarily a compulsory run that he's going to be super happy about. There's a few little, like, it was good compulsories, but he's a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to his flying, so I'm sure that he's going to be a little bit disappointed with some of those scores.
One more flight to go, then we're going to take a little break, and we were back with the final round of the VFS, FS Female and FS Open.
Z1 is jumping in. She is the last flyer of the Freestyle Open compulsories. Going for the Thomas flare. Head up breaker, definitely rotating too early. And that barrel stall had quite a bit of a side slide. Also, the flow was not necessarily the best, so probably going to be a bunch of deductions in that. She's flying a nice variety of moves around these compulsories, though, and out.
So just a little fact coming through, Inca. Tom Evans even listens to music on his Compulsories. Apparently, he was listening to a Bob Marley track there to relax himself.
That sounds good.
Inca, thank you very much. Just any little wrap-up from what you've just seen of the juniors and the Open?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good battle. I'm looking forward to seeing the compulsory scores. I think Sydney is probably still going to stay on as #1 after this one. She had a good round. We'll see what's going to happen with the Open. That's going to be more interesting.
All right, Inca, well, you'll be back with us a little bit later.
Yes.
In the meantime, we are just to let you know what's happening next. We're going to be going into the VFS female and the Open with Pete Allen and Ray Ahmed. We'll be back in the studio in a few minutes' time. We've no actual rush for that. It's all coming to a head for the finals. So as we move into that, I can tell you we've probably got another interview coming up very shortly indeed as well. But in the meantime, thank you very much, Inca. We hope you enjoy your little break.
Thank you, Regan.
Get some sunshine outside.
See you later today.
But for now, we're going to go to Leslie Gale.
And I'm here with a beautiful flyer, James Rogers from the USA. He was here last year competing in junior freestyle. He's now stepped up into open freestyle. You just saw his amazing performance. How are you enjoying this Win Games, James?
I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a lot of fun.
And how is it stepping from the juniors to the seniors? You're playing with the big boys now.
Yeah, it's definitely a big step, but I figured you have to step up eventually, so why not now?
Yeah, and you're a beautiful flyer. How long have you been flying?
Roughly 4 years.
And who is your coach?
I've had many coaches, the Wittenbergs for dynamic, Rafa Schweiger for freestyle, many different ones, Toms, Ivans.
The best then?
Yes.
And you have a very beautiful style of flying. Where is that a bit of everything?
Yeah, a bit of all of the coaches. I take little pieces from each and put them into my style.
And later on, we're going to see your free routine. How did you put that together?
Yes, lots of time.
How much time did you spend to put a routine like that together? Because we saw it yesterday. A lot of tricks in there. It was very full.
Many hours. Yes, a lot.
So how does someone like you afford that? Are you sponsored?
No sponsors. Just my parents.
We'd like to give a big shout out to James's parents because he is awesome. So what you were here last year? What else are you competing in this time?
Four-way dynamic, relay races, and solo speed.
So you had a bit of a thing with the relay races yesterday. Somebody forgot to press the button. You want to tell us about that? How did that happen?
So we forgot to press the button. We thought it was started by the laser. We weren't familiar, so we got 4 skips as a penalty and put us out, basically.
Yeah, because your times were very, very fast.
Yes, they were fast.
I can think that's logical because when you do solo speed or the dynamic, then the time starts automatically. So I can see how that happened. But what did you learn from that?
To push the button before we go in the tunnel.
And I guess read the rules, maybe.
Yes.
So you got the 4-speed coming up later?
Yeah, a little bit later.
How do you think that's going to go?
I think it will go really good.
Well, we wish you the best of luck for the rest of the competition, and I think we're going to look at the highlights video.